would do it all over again. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So I joined the military. Actually, I joined when I was 24. I had just turned 24. I actually turned 24 in basic training. And I joined the military really for opportunity. I was in a situation where I just started seeing, I felt like I understood the direction that my life was taking, and didn't, I didn't want to go that, I didn't want to go down that path. I felt that at that point, I was newly married, and my wife was pregnant with our second child, and we had no money in savings, really lived in a space or an area where there was a kind of an opportunity desert. There just wasn't a lot of opportunities. And so I knew some folks who had joined the military. My father-in-law is a retired veteran, and I saw opportunity. I wanted to buy a house and, be able to like buy 4 tires for my car. Like, I was in a situation where you couldn't even do that. So I just wanted more for my family. So I joined the military.
I think I joined the Marine Corps because I wanted to do something to kind of serve a greater purpose, to kind of have a sense of belonging. And I definitely found that in the Marine Corps.
Something that had nothing really to do with the Army, but more so the people in the Army. All of us were bored one weekend, so we all got together and had a barbecue and a softball game. And it was just kind of cool to see how all of us just got together and the camaraderie we had just because we were in the same place doing the same thing.
The first day was very interesting. I have two other brothers that also served, so they kind of gave me some kind of like, pointers and tips on, what to look out for. But even then, it's one of those things that even with all the information and tips that you get, it's a different, it's a wave shock. And I just remember being nervous, really nervous, and then just adapting.
Yeah, so pretty much every like really good friend that I have still today, I met all of them through the military. My two best friends I met throughout basic training, and then this last year, the unit that I deployed with was actually out of Ohio, and I transferred over to them. So I ended up staying with a bunch of people that I never met before, but once we kind of intermingled and became friends, a lot of them really stuck with me, and I still stay in touch with them. And I actually went to go visit some of them a couple months ago for a wedding that was up there, so that was nice. And then one of them actually deployed with me from Florida, and he actually attends Valencia 2 at SPS for the Law Enforcement Academy, so we're still in touch.
Pretty much all of my friends now I met through the Army. My best friend who lives here, I met her in the Army. I'm married. I met my wife in the Army. And so, yeah, all of those are friendships that I'll take with me forever.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call them friendships. I would say that I gained some family members.
One of the biggest things I remember would be while I was serving. So where the Korean War was took place at, right across by the DMZ, where we did our training at.
I've been to Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, and Egypt as well.
I served in Korea, Georgia, and Germany.
This is something that was passed down for kind of generations in the Marine Corps down to me. So this, has a lot of history behind it. It means a lot to me. It's a technical manual about the weapon system that I operate in the Marine Corps.
People think of the military, a lot of times they refer to like, their basic knowledge of it from movies or video games, but I mean, once you actually sit through it and do the real thing, and, a lot of your training revolves around watching from previous wars. That's how we learn, and that's how they prepare us for whatever may come next. And, seeing something that's right around the corner, not necessarily that's going to happen, but it's within reach, like the whole situation with Ukraine. And people want to get involved, but anybody that's been to war or is in the position where they may have to go and actually deal with it firsthand is not something that we really want to do. And a lot of people, though they may push for it and say that we do need to do something, we have to really sit back and question, is that really, is that in the best interest of the United States? And should we really be putting our own on the line for that sort of thing? So it's just something that people don't really consider all the time when it comes to things like that.
The long hours of not knowing, like when we're going home, all the hard work, being in the cold, me being from Florida and going to Kentucky for a year and a half. I can do 3 years in the military with everything that I did, whatever else I have, I believe I can get through it.
So my most memorable experience was being selected after attending the Special Forces qualification course. 400 of us and 100 got picked up. And so that was an incredible moment for me, just in and of itself. Like, I had never done anything like that before in my life.
Exhausting.
Eventful.
Transformational.
In one word? No, I would do it all over again. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Fulfilling. I would say fulfilling. I've gained a lot of experiences throughout, the job that I have in the military, and then just the leadership experience along with it, and just the challenge that it's put on me to, achieve things that I didn't know I was capable of is fulfilling.
Oh man, Valencia motivated me to join Valencia College. I was upon getting out of the military, I actually entered higher education. I used to serve as an academic. I started as an academic advisor. I was, at the time, before I joined Valencia, the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion at a college in the Pacific Northwest. And I was just seeing what was going on this side of the, this side of the States. And I was at a conference called Achieving the Dream, and had an opportunity to sit in a workshop with somebody at that point who was a presidential fellow here, and got a really good opportunity to talk to him and understand kind of, how excited he was about Valencia, and just introduced to what was going on in this school. Like, without context, you wouldn't, maybe not understand, like, some institutions you can have a lot of energetic people, but you may not have the systems or support to create opportunity, right? Like, people can see that this can work, but you just don't have the support and structure to do that. Valencia offers you those opportunities, and it not just offering students those opportunities, they offer it to faculty and staff as well, right? And so joining Valencia, it was really kind of an easy decision. When I was looking at opportunities to come back to Florida, I was really only looking at Valencia, and in fact had applied for several positions, and one of which I wasn't able to make the interview for, and thought, oh, this isn't going to work, and then immediately was called for another interview for another position, which is the position I'm in now. So yeah, I mean, joining Valencia was easy. I mean, it's the culture, it's the support, it's the people, it's the system, it's how important this institution is to this community.
The flag of the United States Marine Corps. This means a lot to me because when Marines separate, generally they'll get a flag like this, and all of their Marines and their friends and things like that, they'll sign it, kind of leave a note just as they separate, and it just kind of always reminds them. It reminds me of my service. It reminds me of my friends. And once you're a Marine for life. And